for you. And as we take our hands to our heart, this time let's interlace the fingers with a thumbs up, Vajra Mudra, Thunderbolt Mudra. And this mudra acts as strengthening our heart with our own empowerment, our own courage, our own resilience and strength. So as you soften your shoulders back and down, sitting with a long, tall spine and closing your eyes, let's take deep breaths together, equanimous breaths, soothing and releasing any tension, any stress that you have, coming into the present moment and allowing your breath to enliven you, allowing your breath to cleanse and release. And as you feel into your breath through the front of the body with an inhale, inflating, filling up. As you exhale through the back of the body, drawing lower belly in and grounding to the earth. Noticing your breath. Inhale, inviting and rising. Exhale, softening, releasing, letting go. As we hold this mudra, we tap into our own empowerment, our own strength and resilience. Come inside then. And as we feel into 5 deep breaths together, let's take equanimous breaths with the count of 6. With an inhale for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 6, and possibly noticing each chakra as you rise up through the body with each count. Exhale, lowering down through each chakra as you lower with each count of 6. Noticing the inhale through the front of the body, the exhale through the back. And keeping that going for a few more breaths, I'm just going to get some enough star. And if we were to think of a thunderbolt, as this mudra represents, noticing this thunderbolt from the crown of your head through your body to the tailbone. And like a thunderbolt is an electric current, massive generator of energy. So as we breathe, let's light up this thunderbolt with an inhale this time down through our body, inhaling to your belly, filling up, and exhale up through your body to the crown chakra, illuminating all the way through. Inhale down through your belly, enlivening. Exhale up through this thunderbolt, your column of light, your Sushumna, your spine, to your crown chakra. One more breath with thunderbolt energy. And softening. As you open your eyes, softening your hands, and maybe you circle your wrists one way, then the other. And let's take our hands to our shoulders and circle the elbows around so the shoulder blades move backwards, heart opening, easing through the shoulders, softening your jaw, your neck. In this class, we'll be working with balancing yin and yang energy, imagining a yin and yang sign of black and white. And as we balance our yin-yang energy, feminine and masculine, the light and the dark, we feel into our fullness. So as we create these 2 circles with our elbows, just noticing that. One more breath. Great, taking your elbows into the sides and your palms facing up. Let's just move the hands out and in, feeling into our shoulder blades again. And as if you could imagine you're massaging around the shoulder blades, each breath easing any tension again. And the 2 sides of the scales, or the yin-yang, and masculine and feminine, dark and light, balancing through our aura, our energy field. Our left side, feminine, connected to the moon, and our right side, masculine, connected to the sun. Great, bringing your hands together in these 2 sides, sun and moon, half back. With an inhale, reaching the hands up to the sky, pressing the palms together. As you exhale, drawing this back down to your heart, to your center. Twice more. Inhale to rise, maybe lifting up if you're kneeling, up to the sky. And exhale, drawing it down through you to the ground. Inhale to rise again, reaching and growing. Exhale, grounding, releasing and softening. Inhale, let's lift up one more time, and maybe you lift onto your knees. Exhale, lower into child's pose, coming onto your knees and taking the hips back to the heels as you stretch out. Maybe you have a sway from side to side, softening your shoulders, your jaw. And perhaps you come up onto your fingertips to stretch the arms longer and to feel into a more invigorating stretch. Let's take our hands over to the left. And as you arch them over to the left, pressing both hips back to heels, feeling the stretch through the right side of the body. And then bringing the hands all the way over to the other side, pressing hips back and feeling that stretch through the left side of the body. Coming back to center with an inhale, let's rise up again onto our knees, high with our body and lifting with our hands. Exhale, lowering down, drawing lower belly in, taking the hips back to the heels and bowing into your child's pose. Inhale to rise again with yang energy, active sun. Exhale to bow down with receptive moon, feminine energy. One more time, inhale to rise. And exhale to bow, drawing lower belly in as you take the hips back, lengthening through your spine. Inhale to come up again. Let's come just to a normal kneeling position. Take one hand to the ground and reach the other arm over. And then you're in way circling this arm around like we've done before. Into the circle, maybe you bend your elbow a little bit and reach the arm back, opening the shoulder, the heart. Great, going to the other side when you're ready, reaching the other arm over. And again, making a circle round, roughly the same number of times to balance this side. Opening the shoulder back, looking up, maybe bending the elbow. Great, coming back to center. Let's rise to a high kneeling position again, reaching the hands up overhead. Then taking one hand down to the side, and maybe you need a block or a pillow to just reach that far down. It is a bit of a big stretch, a deep stretch. And then with one hand down, maybe you're on your fingertips, reach up to the other side. You can lower the hips down a little bit, but just feel the stretch through the whole of the opposite side of the body. It's a bit of a hard one to be comfortable in, but just try and be comfy with that. Great, let's come up to the top again, reaching high. And go to the other side, maybe hand to the ground or to the block or a pillow, lifting and stretching over, feeling into the side, body, the side of the hip, down to the knees, the thighs. Bring ourselves back to center. We'll now take the opposite hand to the ground again and reach opposite leg out. So we're in a side plank form with an inhale, reaching up to the top with a top hand. As you exhale, cross that top hand underneath you, reaching it underneath the bottom arm. Inhale to reach up to the top again, lifting. Exhale, cross it underneath you to the bottom arm. One more time. Inhale to rise. And exhale to reach under. Inhale to lift up to center point, keeping your leg out stretched. Press the sole of the foot down and lift your hands high in gate pose. Exhale, hands to our heart. Let's reach our hands out wide to the sides and then cross the same arm as the leg that's outstretched underneath the other in eagle arms. Maybe you have the backs of palms facing each other, or if it's a bit tricky, having your hands to your shoulders is equally as good. And if you can weave the arms around so the palms are facing the full eagle, you can do. Here we can just stay lifted, feeling the shoulder stretch and pressing to the outstretched foot. Feel from the inner arch to the inner thigh. If you want to do 3 bowing actions, you're really welcome to as well. With an inhale, lifting up. As you exhale, bow down, take the hips back carefully, feel the stretch through the inner thigh. Inhale to reach up again, maybe looking up and lifting the elbows. You can stay straight and just static in stillness, or keep bowing with an exhale. Inhale to rise up again. One more time. Exhale to bow in. Inhale to rise. Opening our arms wide to the sides again, reaching our hearts out. And exhale, take the same hand as the leg to the leg gently. Reach the opposite arm over to the side now. Feel long through the front of the body, stretch through the thigh and the side body. One more breath. Softening shoulders and face. And then coming back to a center point with your body. Taking your hands forward, reach the hands as far forward as you feel comfortable into a stretch with the hips moving backwards. This hip that's being worked will be quite active and heated now. And as we strengthen and feel into the stability of our pelvis, it's really good to strengthen our hips. The whole of our bodies, health and core strength. One more breath here. Great, bringing your hands back towards your knees. Come onto a tabletop position. Hope you can see me, I'll come this way. And the tabletop position, let's just sway it out from side to side now, easing through. Maybe circle around one way for a few rotations. And then circle around the other way. Okay, let's come to our kneeling position again, and this time we stretch the other foot out to the side. Taking opposite hand to the ground, reach the same arm as the leg that's stretched out over you for this side, for a side plank form. Bring into your core, drawing lower belly in. Then inhale, lift the hands straight above the shoulder. As you exhale, draw it underneath you, wrapping it underneath that arm to the ground. Inhale to lift up again, looking up, feel the side waist. Exhale to lower down and cross it under, threading through. Inhale to rise again, lifting your heart. Exhale under, drawing up through your core. Inhale to lift the hand high. Exhale, start to lift your whole body up to the center. Inhale to reach the hands up to the top. Now exhale, hands to your heart, please. Inhale, let's reach the arms wide again. Exhale, cross the arm that's the same arm as the leg underneath the other one. So we bend our elbows for our eagle arms again, choosing the position of our hands that's most comfortable for us. Feeling into the outstretched leg and foot, pressing that foot down, the outer edge, lifting up through the inner arch to the inner thigh. Staying either in stillness for the hold, or we move with our breath. With an inhale, lift elbows looking up. As you exhale, bowing down, draw lower belly in. Inhale to rise again. And exhale to bow with your core. One more time. Inhale to lift. Now exhale to bow into this balance of your yin and yang. Inhale to lift up, reaching the hands out to the sides. Now exhale, let's take the same hand to the leg lightly, sweep the other arm over for the diagonal stretch again. Feeling into lifting up through the whole of the body, creating room for the organs, lifting through the rib cage, expanding with your breath, through your lung capacity, expanding out to the side and the back. Great, inhale to a center point, and then let's take our hands down in front. So we're either reaching as far forward as possible or staying into a comfortable stretch that's best for you, not overreaching, finding that right spot that's really your truth today. With softness and strength, softening your face, your jaw, bowing, taking the hips back maybe a little bit to encourage the stretch more. Great, on your next inhale, take the hands back towards you and we come onto our hands and knees, have a little wriggle from side to side again. And once again, circling one way to ease through, finding the spiral all the way through from your fingers to your toes. And circling the other way. Softening shoulders, maybe getting your head involved with your neck. Imagining your animal rubbing against a tree. Okay, let's come onto the front of our bodies now, bringing our elbows under our forearms, feet back behind you and pressing the toes to the ground, please. Shuffle onto the front of your thighs for Sphinx. And you can either have a few different mudras, forms of your hands. Maybe the hands are just simply relaxed with the fingers spread and the pads of the hands pressing down as you draw up through the arms, taking the shoulders back and the heart forward. Or we can take the palms together simply and have a hold of the palms and use that pressure to ignite our arms and our shoulders. You can interlace the fingers, index finger pointing forward, Natara Bodhi Mudra, lighting up. We can press all the fingertips and the thumb tips together in Hakini Mudra, representing our brain hemispheres, the left and right brain. Also, this could be our hearts and the 4 chambers of our hearts. And also corresponding with the 5 elements on our fingertip and thumb tips. The 5 elements of water to our little fingers, earth with the ring fingers, ether space with the middle fingers, air with our index fingers, and thumbs of fire, fire with our thumbs. And as we breathe here, feeling into the breath through the front of the body, lifting, and as you exhale, softening through the back of the body. Do work with balancing yin and yang energy and also the 5 elements in our yoga practice. Just noticing with our breath, honoring our body, and allowing your breath each time you breathe with this session to really invigorate you. Big, deep breaths. Really giving yourself this time to enjoy your breath. One more breath. Great, let's lower down into crocodile. You can have a restful crocodile with the forearms crossed and the feet either down or swaying them from side to side. If you want a more active crocodile like we did yesterday, pressing the inner seams of the feet together and the hands to the sides of the chin, the face, the jawline, and softening through. Softening with the shoulders, back and down. If you're in the active and if you're in the relaxing, softening fully. Great, let's practice a few yin stretches now as we press ourselves back and up into tabletop. Let's take the right knee forward, to the back of the right wrist for pigeon pose. Maybe you stay quite upright and you put some pillows or cushions underneath your right hip. Or you can have the cushions in front of you as well to lie down on if you want to lower a bit further. Let's check that the back leg is straight before we lower and that the back toes are all facing down to the ground. Maybe you tuck the back toes under and you can lengthen that back leg a little bit more as you stretch and lower with each breath. And perhaps you keep your hands separate with the palms face down, the fingers spread and relaxed. Or again, you can press the palms together, taking index finger and interlacing the fingers if you like for a Tara Bodhi Mudra, or Hakini Mudra with the fingertips and thumb tips and the palms separate. Or you could press the palms together and take the prayer to the back of the head. So whatever feels right for you and most suitable for your practice today, softening your shoulders, your jaw, your face, and lengthening out. Feeling your body giving all your weight to the ground, but staying with some awareness to your pelvis and lifting through the pelvic floor muscles and around the pelvis. As we breathe deep, let's balance with yin and yang and our 5 elements again. And noticing from our root chakra with earth energy, red earth energy as you breathe. As you breathe in silence for a few minutes, just notice, well, it won't be a few minutes actually, it'll just be 10 more breaths. Just notice that we can really tap into our own awareness when we're a little bit quieter, with a stillness. As you take 5 more breaths, softening even more. We're seeing engagement in the hips, the pelvis, also softening all the way through. Balancing our sun, masculine right hip and pelvis, softening shoulders. And taking one more breath here, please. Let's now start to rise up, taking the hands to be either side of the front knee. Maybe you had a little bit of a sway. Let's just stay lifted for 2 breaths here, feeling through the body, then pressing down with the feet and lifting up through your pelvis with a bit more core engagement. Noticing the front of the left hip, the stars muscle. Great, let's take our hands to the ground. If you have any other variation of pigeon you'd like to work on, you're welcome to do that in your own time. Right now is an advanced practice. Otherwise, taking hands to the ground, either in tabletop or down dog. Let's lift this right foot back behind us and maybe shake it out a little bit, making all the energy lines and the joints invigorate with the shaking, bring fresh blood, fresh energy through. You can do this in tabletop as well with the leg behind and the left knee down. And then taking both feet into downward facing dog as you pedal out, have a stretch, noticing the difference between right and left. Let's now come back down onto our knees and take the left side, left knee to left back of wrist, straightening the right foot behind you, and maybe tucking the toes under to lengthen that leg back again. Checking the right leg is straight and that your hips are equally facing forwards. You feel lifted. And then inhale to rise through the body, and then exhale to soften down, maybe staying onto your hands, your forearms, or lying all the way down. Choosing your hand variation in any form of your mudra, and taking your awareness within as you close your eyes, noticing from your third eye all the way through your body, letting go of any tension on this side as you balance through. As we breathe deep, noticing the breath, and with the 5-element energy, as we lift from our root chakra with earth energy up to our sacral chakra with water orange light. Breathing across your pelvis, your sacrum, your sacral chakra with water orange light. And this corresponding with the feminine, the moon. As you surrender into silence for 10 breaths, softening even more, keeping slight engagement in your hips, your pelvis, and softening to the ground. Noticing your breath, this water energy is a wave through. Taking a few more breaths and feeling into the left side, the left hip of your pelvis, balancing to the right, the front of the right hip. And maybe your breath is circling from hip to hip like an infinity sign, the two circles joining into one. Yin and yang, dark and light, balancing to wholeness. Taking one more breath, please, and maybe sighing out. And then let's start to carefully lift ourselves up again, taking the hands either side of the front knee, maybe a little sway from side to side. As you lift up for a few breaths here, softening your shoulders back, going into the line from the back foot, through the front of the right hip and psoas, engaging the pelvis, maybe even your glutes. Great, taking the hands to the ground when you're ready. Any other form of pigeon, if you like to do any advanced forms, you're welcome to. Moving the back foot up a bit for 3-legged dog, shaking that leg back, or you're on your knee in tabletop to shake the left foot behind you, invigorating this side. Lifting up when you're ready if you want to for your 3-legged dog. Shake it out. And then either in tabletop, practicing cat-cow, or coming to down dog, having a pedal out. Noticing both legs, both hips. And as we strengthen and stabilize our pelvis, we have this foundation from our root and our sacral up through our core of our solar plexus, through all of the body, the heart, throat, and third eye, chakras, and the center line. Great, let's walk our hands back to our feet and down dog, please. Walking all the way back, so the hands come to the back of the mat, and you bend your knees to just dangle down. Maybe you hold opposite elbow
as we usually do, and sway from side to side. Or perhaps you cross the forearms behind you, and whichever way you normally cross your forearms, just switch to the opposite forearm on top, so you're working your tighter side. And as you dangle, just softening your shoulders, noticing the weight and trying to equalize the weight of both feet. Ball toes easing down to the ground. Bending the knees to engage your core line from your inner arches up to your inner thighs. And as you lift the hips up and back behind you, tilting the pelvis, drawing up through your lower belly. Softening your shoulders and your face, your jaw. Drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Take 3 more breaths, and you can be soft or strong in this posture. Maybe you soften and just sigh and sway. We can stay in stillness and work with a stretch. 1 more breath, please. Great, let's start to slowly roll up through the body with a full deep breath, rolling slowly through your spine, up to your shoulders, easing back and coming into standing. In a standing position, either feet a bit wider than hip distance apart, or however feels comfortable for you with your feet parallel. Let's start to tap the crown of our head and say thank you to our body, tapping through from our brain hemispheres and our mind, the little raindrops, little patters, tapping down through the sides of the head, around the jawline. Maybe you pull your ears lightly to the sides, waking up. You can listen and inquire within as well as listen to others with clarity. And as you tap around your jaw, noticing any tension, letting it go, maybe a sigh or a ha sound. Making some noises as you come down to your heart if you want to, any noise that comes naturally to you, or maybe a hum or a ha again, or a sigh. And then as you tap down one arm, tapping down the front and up through the inner seam a few times, tapping down the front, up through the inner seam to the armpit, picking up your lymphatic system, and tapping down the other arm when you're ready, welcoming both sides, yin and yang. Tapping the back of your shoulders, give yourself a hug, and crossing the arms the other way to tap the back of the shoulders again, hugging yourself, tap down the back and the rib cage. You can, feeling how low you can go with that, it's a bit tricky. Around the ribs and your heart, down through your body to your hips. Let's go down to the legs, the front of the legs down and up through the back of the legs. So you tap your glutes at the end, down through the front of the legs, and up through the back of the legs, up through your glutes. One more time, down through the front, up through the back of the legs. Tapping your kidneys, waking your chi and metabolism for the day. Little light fists as you tap here a bit longer. Great, let's come to the top of our mats for a few sun salutation sequences with our yang. And then we'll settle into some more yin stretches at the end to relax and receive. Taking our hands to your heart, setting your intention for your practice, and possibly this is to balance and to be in awareness. Like when we go through our hard times in life, we always have the quality of our soul's essence, of love, of peace within us, and to choose this light to balance the dark, to breathe this in with our awareness, with our conscious choice, to breathe in light as we are light, and to balance
in our wholeness. Let's begin with an inhale, reach the hands up to the top. Exhale, forward fold as you bend the knees and lower. Inhale, look forward to a flat back, lift up halfway. Exhale, taking right foot back. You can choose low or high lunge, whichever is nice for you. Then inhale, reach the hands up to the top. Exhale, let's take the right hand forward, left hand back into a twist. Twice more. Inhale to reach hands high, press the ground away. Exhale, turn into the twist, softening your shoulders. Once more, inhale to rise, looking up perhaps. Exhale to turn to the left, looking to that left thumb perhaps. Inhale, lift up to the top. Exhale, let's take the right hand down to the ground, left hand lifted up straight above you. And maybe you stay in your low lunge, or you tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee off the ground to make it a little bit more energized. Soften the left shoulder back. Maybe this left hand wraps around the back to peel the left shoulder back even more. Lifting your heart, looking round, one more breath. Exhale, take the right knee down if it was lifted. And then let's ease the hips back, flexing the left foot into a half split, runner's lunge form. As you flex the toes, spreading the toes away from each other and encouraging the hips moving back, but staying level in the hips. And maybe you need to sway a little bit over to the left side if you're right over to the right a bit, just evening out and finding that balance again. Inhale here. Exhale, let's bow in a little bit. Inhale to reach up again, lifting our heart. Exhale to bow in again. You can have this form in a high lunge as well if you prefer. Inhale to lift up and exhale to bow in. Inhale to look forwards, flattening the left foot, taking hands to the ground, step it back to plank. You can rest in tabletop if you need to. Exhale, knees down, either cat-cow or knees chest-chin, chaturanga, your form of your vinyasa. Inhale to lift the heart, soften shoulders back. And exhale back to downward facing dog, stretching it out. You can rest in child's pose as well if that's nicer for you. Breathing through. Feel from hands, the fingers spread, lifting through the arms, lengthening through the spine to the hips. Slight bend in the knees to tilt the pelvis backwards and feel down to the feet. Inhale to lift right foot up to the sky. Exhale, draw the knee in, step it forward, top of the mat. Low or high lunge again. Let's reach our hands up to the top. Exhale, turn to the right hand back, looking towards that right thumb. Inhale to rise up to the top again. Exhale to turn into your twist, softening shoulders back. Once more, inhale to rise up. And exhale to turn, easing through your neck and your jaw as well, relaxing. Inhale to lift up to the top. Exhale, left hand down, right hand lifted into a revolved twist. And again, either you stay in your low lunge or you tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee off to make it more of an inner thigh stretch. Lifting this hand up and staying there, or wrapping it round the back, drawing back the shoulder, lifting heart, turning, feeling the stretch through the hips to the feet. One more breath. Great, everyone. Exhale, hands down, taking the back knee down if it was lifted. And let's lower the hips backwards now. Flexing the right foot, spreading the fingers. And finding that balance of the hips, the sacrum level. Maybe moving your body slightly to the right so you're even and feeling that you're not leaning to the left too much. Drawing up through the core from the toes spreading of the inner arch, and notice the line of your legs up to your pelvis. Let's take 3 bows here with an inhale to rise your heart, exhale to bow in. Inhale to lift up and lengthen, exhale to bow. Once more, inhale to rise, and you can do this with high lunge if you prefer.
and exhale to bow in. Inhale to look forward, press the right foot down, back to your tabletop or down dog, whatever suits you. You can rest in child's pose again if you need to. And let's take a vinyasa if that's right for you, coming forward to plank, lowering through your vinyasa your own way, elbows in. Inhale, sweep the heart forward for cobra up dog, shoulders back and down. Exhale back to down dog or child's pose. 3 deep breaths, balancing through, noticing the balance of both sides, of the front and the back of the body, balance of yin and yang. One more big breath. Great, exhale, let's take our knees down to the ground. We're going to take our left hand now over off the mat to the left and reach the right foot behind for our side plank once again. Reaching this right hand up, you can either keep the right foot pressing down or coming into a mini half moon form, lifting that right leg off the ground, flexing the toes forward, feeling into the balance there. One more breath wherever you are with the foot down or lifted. Great, let's take our hands to the ground, turning to tabletop and simply go to the other side. So right hand off the mat, left foot behind to find our half plank form. Reaching up to the left fingers, feel the core engaged, pelvis strong. And then lifting the left foot off the ground for mini half moon if you prefer, or keeping the foot down. Noticing the balance through your core. One more breath, flexing the toes if the leg's lifted. Now exhale, coming back to center. Let's now lift up into down dog, and we'll do something similar in down dog as we lift our right foot up, bend the right knee, look under right upper arm. And either staying there, or you can step the right foot behind the left for a side plank form, or a wafting form as you turn your hips, turn your heart and lift up to the sky, turning your body towards the ceiling. Coming back to a form of down dog again, have a stretch out and paddle out through your legs so you can rest in tabletop with the knees down. Let's go to the other side when you're ready, lifting the left foot up, then the left knee, look under left upper arm, staying there for scorpion dog, or bringing the left foot down for a side plank form, or turning the hips up towards the ground, up towards the sky, and lift your heart as you press the ground away, lighting up. Exhale, hands down, turning to the mat, and let's lower all the way to the ground now. Taking our arms wide to the sides for a wide sphinx. Wriggle onto the front of the thighs, palms are spread, fingers spread to the ground, and lift up into a wide sphinx. Feel this different stretch, this different form, really working across your shoulders. Maybe you feel like you can sense from the legs charging a bit more, lifting your heart. One more breath, and we won't be here too long, don't worry. Get to relax after this. Exhale, lower down. Taking your right hand out to the side, and the palm is facing down. Let's move on to the right side of our body for nice, slow stretches to encourage this stretch through the whole right side to let go to the ground, letting go of any stress, any tension from our masculine sun side. And as you breathe, noticing the side of the body, your diaphragm and your core, and just relaxing through, as well as feeling that this slight little balance as we're in the stretch holds us there with the support of our core. We can let go and surrender as well. Breathing in with yellow firelight to balance, to warm through. And taking a few more breaths here, please, just letting it all go to the ground. Maybe the left hand stays in front of you to support you, or the left hand can move behind, sweeping it around the back. You can also try to find your foot with the left hand, the left foot, and guide that back into a thigh stretch as well for a harder version. One more breath wherever you are. Great, let's come onto the front of our bodies carefully, and then moving the left hand out, same parallel to your shoulder and palm facing down as you ease onto the left side. Noticing this side, surrendering to the ground again. Our feminine softness. Noticing across your heart with green air energy, softening through. Take a few more big breaths, and maybe this right hand sweeps behind the back again, and you find the balance point. Or you take the right hand to the right foot to make it a little bit harder and stretch through the front of the thigh, the shoulder a bit more that way. Breathing deep, softening your face and your jaw and the shoulder to the ground. One more big breath. Great, let's slowly come back to the front of our body. And bringing both hands across above the head, please. Palms facing towards each other, pressing together in pranam, full body prayer. Feel your heart, your belly resting on the ground. Have a sigh, sending love to Mother Earth, love through your body. Let's now press the ground away into child's pose as you take your hips back to your heels, choosing any form with your hands that you like again. Maybe you press the palms together and the prayer back to the neck area behind you. Taking one more big breath through the back of the body, the back of the lungs and heart. And then let's slowly come up to kneeling again. We'll take one foot forward really carefully so that that foot is maybe in line with the knee, maybe it's a little bit further forward, wherever it's comfortable for you. And try to get your hands behind you so you can lean back a little bit. Maybe you have a cushion between your heel and your hip to help you lift up, or you can just stay in the lift without the support there. But we're working on stretching the front of the thigh, that the leg is down, and noticing all the way through that side. And noticing which side is the side that you're stretching first of all, just for your own awareness. And then here you can either stay still and static for 3 more breaths, or we can move and just lower down with an exhale. Inhale to rise up, maybe lifting your gaze and looking up, turning to the sky. Now exhale to lower down carefully. Inhale to rise up, pressing the hips up and forward. One more time. And feeling into that nice stretch across the front of our thigh to release tension. Great, coming back to balance point. Let's carefully lower that leg that was bent with a bent knee and lower it to the ground so it's straight in front of you. If it's possible, carefully lowering
the hip of the knee that is bent inside that ankle. But if that's not possible and it's really hurting you, of course, bring the knee and the foot around, and you can take normal Janusirsasana form with the sole of the foot into the inner thigh of the leg that's outstretched. Whichever form is best for you. It's harder to fold forwards with the kneeling position instead of that normal bent knee and the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. Inhale to reach up, exhale to bow forwards a bit, and let's keep this moving. A few more breaths. Inhale to rise, exhale to bow forwards, feeling the stretch through the thigh. Inhale to rise, exhale to bow forwards. One more breath. This time we'll hold for 3 breaths. Inhale to lift up, and exhale to bow forwards, softening where your hands would like to be. Maybe they're closer towards you or reaching forwards. Maybe you can hold the foot if possible. Wherever you are, softening the shoulders back and down, lifting your heart forward, lengthening through the spine, and looking beyond the toes. We're not looking down to the leg, we're looking forwards to activate and strengthen our neck and the muscles at the back of the neck. Softening the shoulders back and down, away from your ears, and lifting your heart forward. One more breath with an inhale to lengthen, then exhale to fold in slightly, feeling into the thigh stretch. Great, coming up to the top, you can reach the hands overhead if you like. And then taking hands behind, let's just shuffle the feet forwards, both legs. Have a shake out of the legs, maybe even patting them down. Fresh blood through that knee that was bent. Great, let's go to the other side now. So we're taking a kneeling form with the leg that was just outstretched, and the other leg is bent with the foot to the ground. Get aligned and comfy and balanced, and then taking the hands back to lean back slightly for the thigh stretch. Feeling into your shoulder blades moving back, your heart lifted. You can either stay there or we lift up a bit into a further stretch, deepening our awareness through the whole of the side of the knee that is down to the ground, from that knee stretching up through the body, this whole fascia line. And again, you can use a pillow or block to help you, or we can move if that's nice for you as well, with an exhale to lower, an inhale to lift, lifting heart and gaze, and an exhale to lower down. Give it breathing, enjoying, noticing. One more big breath. And then exhale, lowering down. Carefully, with your own awareness, moving that foot that was flat on the ground outstretched in front of you now for this side, getting comfy and aligned through the hips, maybe moving any glute fascia. And either, again, the knee is bent into the kneeling position in half Virasana hero pose, or we take the foot into the inner seam of the leg for our usual folding forward, which you've done before, head to knee, or Janusirsasana it's called. Let's get comfy and take 3 bows. With an inhale, reach the hands up. As you exhale, halfway bowing forwards. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to hover, bowing forwards. Once more, inhale to rise. Exhale to hover, drawing lower belly in. Inhale to lift up. And exhale to fold. Now for 3 breaths. Hands where it's comfortable for you. They can be quite further back towards you. You can be seated or folding forwards, maybe reaching to the foot, softening shoulders back, lifting your heart and gaze beyond your toes, lengthening through. Inhale to rise through the spine and the body. Exhale to fold, drawing lower belly in. One more big breath. Inhale to lengthen, softening shoulders and jaw.
Exhale to fold in. Inhale to lift up to the top. Maybe hands stay to the sides, or you lift them up above you. And exhale, hands down. Carefully moving that foot forward now and shuffling through your legs. Have a pat down. Let's rotate our ankles round one way and then the other. And then slowly coming forward so you can lie down onto your back. Do a bit of circling with our knees as we lie down. So let's take our hands forward, feet hip distance apart, parallel. And as you start to lower down, engaging your core, drawing up through your pelvic floor and lower belly, as you roll down slowly, can be different every day for us, of course. So just noticing and playing as you roll down with your core awareness. As you reach the ground, lift the hands over the head, stretch it out. And stretch the feet if you want to, legs straight, so you're one long line, lighting up. Let's take one knee in towards our chest and holding onto the knee or the thigh area, just start to circle the leg like you're stirring big pots of abundance, of magic, thriving energy above you. And notice which leg you've chosen first. I'm trying to encourage the stirring, the spiral through your foot, from your toes to the bridge of your foot, your inner arch, your heel, the ankle, up through the shin and the calf to your knee, through the thigh to the hip. Notice the spiral leading up through the body, and the spine, the shoulders to the face and the head, relaxed. And taking the spiral the other way around, the opposite direction with the same leg, same foot, toes. Trying to mindfully locate how you can target the spiral to be a bit more with your own awareness, moving all the way up through the leg to the hip, to the body, to the shoulders, to the head in stillness and relaxed. Right, let's draw the knee in, holding onto the back of the thigh, bend the knee and take the knee out to the outer rib cage, so in half happy baby. You can flex and point both feet a few times, feeling the leg line stretch. And then as you flex the feet, just feel into the stretch with the left knee, well, this knee that you've chosen out to the side. Great, you can now take that ankle of the leg that's lifted on top of the bottom leg, knee, thigh area. Maybe take your hands to the top of the thigh muscles and press the thigh muscles up the thigh bones to get some room to your lower spine, your pelvis, your sacrum. And maybe have a little rock from side to side to encourage this, massaging your hips and your lower back. You can either keep the legs as they are and one foot is on the ground to support the stretch, or you can hug the knees in a bit closer towards you, interlacing your hands around the calf, the thigh or the shin area. As you hug in, maybe you stay in stillness or you sway it out a bit as well. Whichever form you're in, with the foot to the ground or the foot lifted, we're now going to just cross that top leg over the bottom leg, and either the knees stack on top of each other, or if that's not working for you, you can just cross the shins and the calves so that you can hold on to the knees and they're slightly further apart, about hip distance apart. And we're just trying to seal the pelvis and the hips and encourage a counter stretch where we're hugging everything in. So if the top leg is easily over the bottom leg and the knees are stacked, you can hold on to the feet and draw them out to the sides as a supine cow face Gokumasana form. Great, let's go to the other side. Lengthening the leg that you're working on down to the ground now, letting that rest, and starting to circle the opposite leg round. So we're circling from the toes, through the foot, the width of the bones, the inner arch, the heel, the ankle, up through the shin and the calf and the knee. Pressing the back of the knee, the front and the back of the thigh, not to the hip, up through the side of the body to the shoulders and to the head in stillness, the back of the head. Noticing the spiral, the stirring of your alchemical, amazing body. It's constantly regenerating. And stirring the opposite way, the spiral leading from the toes again all the way through. Balancing this side. Encouraging the stirring as a circle to seal into center. One more big breath. And then let's take the knee out to the side, flex the foot, hands around the thigh or whatever is comfortable for you, for your half happy baby. And flex and point both feet again a few times, feeling through the leg line. And flexing both feet, draw the knee out a bit more. Both shoulders and hips are steady to the ground, softening with balance through your back, through your body. One more big breath, please. And then slowly taking the outstretched leg that's on the ground to bend that knee, and the lifted leg, the outer ankle goes on top of the floor leg, knee, thigh area. Bending both knees and flexing the top foot. Taking your hands to the thighs and the top of the thigh muscles. Again, pressing the thigh muscles up the legs slightly with a bit of pressure as you press away from your sacrum down towards the top of the mat and up through the thigh bones slightly. So there's a bit of pressure down as if you were moving your hips away from you, and then the thigh muscles up slightly. Softening your shoulders, your face and your jaw. Maybe having a sway again on this side, if you did so, or if this side feels like a sway. You can keep the foot down to the ground or draw the knees in again, your choice. Maybe both feet are flexed if the feet are lifted. You sway from side to side or stay in stillness again. Great, let's now take both feet up to the sky, circle the wrists, the ankles round one way and then the other. And taking full happy baby, hands around the thighs, drawing the knees out to the outer seams of the body. Shoulders are softening down equally to the ground and the back is equally pressing to the ground. Maybe noticing the hips, and if you could take the back of the sacrum to the mat a bit more. And either keeping your hands just as they are, that could be enough, or hands around the shins, the ankle area, or holding to the outer edges of the feet, draw the feet and the legs down into a further stretch. It's a bit too much to hold the outer edges of the feet. You can take first 2 fingers and thumbs to the big toes and hold there instead. And as you feel into your back in balance, the sides of left feminine moon and right masculine sun, bringing this balance into your center, the yin and yang, balancing light and dark, and the 5 elements of your chakras. Making your soles of your feet together if you like in a supine Baddha Konasana cobblers for a moment. And then let's take the leg that you just bent and encouraging that stretch into our sleeping pigeon form. Let's take that leg over the other one, so we do the counter pose on this side to seal in the pelvis and to feel into the hips coming into a center point again. Either we take the cross leg form, holding onto the knees or wherever's comfy, or if the knees can be over each other a bit more, holding onto the shins, the ankles, or the feet to create this nice stretch through our hips, our outer hips. Great, letting go. Have a shake out of your hands, your feet, the legs, and your arms. We're ready for Shavasana relaxation. If there's any other stretch you'd like to take, you're welcome to. And just before we settle into stillness, lengthening your feet to the top of the mat. Maybe your feet need to be on the mat for this, but we start to move the toes forward and back. So you start to encourage a rippling wave-like form through the body. And this nicely recalibrates and joints your spine, and it's nice to do before we settle. So if you have socks on or your feet on the ground and there's carpet, it can be a bit slippy, and sometimes you just need the pressure of your mat or the socks to be off to notice the rippling, the chain-like form through you. One more breath as you ripple and have this shaking energy. And then slowly coming into stillness when you're ready, dropping the feet loose out to the sides, palms facing up and arms wide, or hands to your belly, your heart, your body. If there's any tension in your lower back, you can take restorative rest with the feet wide apart and the inner knees touching. Softening through, allowing your body to receive and surrender now. And as you notice the silence with your breath as the closest sound to you, sensing this silence as an opening for the balance, for your wholeness of yin and yang, feminine and masculine, sun and moon, the dark and the light. And I read a quote by Catherine E. Livingston. When you are in darkness, know that the light will come. We are light and dark, sun and moon, male and female, yin and yang. Life is composed of opposites in continuing circle of change. When you're in light, don't step back into the darkness. When you're in the darkness, feel all and step into the light when it is the right time. Live in that light and breathe it in fully. We are in the light when we are in our presence. Be here now.
As you start to wake in your own time, moving your fingers, thumbs, and your toes, taking a deep breath and maybe sighing out again, maybe moving your head from side to side to stretch your neck, maybe opening your jaw wide from side to side, possibly rotating your wrists and your ankles as you stretch and wake for the day again. And any stretch you like. As you take yourself onto your side or come up to seated when you're ready. And bringing your hands to your heart when you arrive in seated, please. Pressing both palms together with the sun and the moon, half for sun and half for the moon, honouring our wholeness with this fullness of the balance within us. Honouring how our soul has both masculine and feminine, and how we can balance these energies for our own thriving positivity and for all the challenges that we face, to move through those with awareness, to let our feelings flow. As you bow to your heart, bowing to this balance, to your heart's inner teacher, bowing to all. Namaste. Thank you